Welcome to Travel the World with Brandon. Today's destination, the Baltic countries, a journey through Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. When people think about Europe, places like France, Italy, or Spain usually come to mind first. But tucked away along the northeastern coast of Europe are three fascinating countries that many travelers overlook: the Baltic nations of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. These countries may be small, but they are packed with medieval cities, ancient traditions, stunning castles, deep forests, and stories of resilience that shaped modern Europe. Today, we're exploring the Baltic countries, their history, traditions, monuments, and what makes each one unique. The Baltic countries sit along the eastern coast of the Baltic Sea. Together, they share a long and intricate history involving Vikings, medieval kingdoms, the Russian Empire, Nazi occupation during World War II, and decades under Soviet rule. Despite all of that, each country managed to preserve its language, traditions, and national identity. And today, all three are modern democracies and members of the European Union and NATO. Let's start in Estonia, the northernmost Baltic country. Its capital city, Tallinn, is one of the best-preserved medieval cities in Europe. Walking through Tallinn's old town feels like stepping into a fairy tale. Cobblestone streets wind past ancient churches, colorful merchant houses, and defensive towers that date back hundreds of years. One of the city's most famous landmarks is Tallinn Town Hall, built in the Gothic style during the Middle Ages. Estonia has strong Nordic influences, and many people compare it culturally to Finland. In fact, Estonians are closely related linguistically to Finns, and their language is completely different from Latvian or Lithuanian. One of Estonia's oldest traditions is the thermal bath culture, for centuries considered places for cleansing, healing, and even spiritual rituals. Nature is also deeply important in Estonian culture. Nearly half of Estonia is covered in forests, and many traditional folk songs celebrate the connection between people and nature. Estonia is famous for its massive song festivals, where thousands of singers perform together in huge open-air gatherings. These festivals became especially important during Soviet rule, when singing patriotic songs helped preserve Estonian identity. This peaceful resistance movement later became known as the Singing Revolution. Next, we travel south to Latvia. Its capital, Riga, is the largest city in the Baltics and is famous for its incredible Art Nouveau architecture. Some streets in Riga almost feel like open-air museums, filled with decorative facades, sculptures, and ornate buildings from the early 1900s. Additionally, Riga's medieval old town, packed with history, includes the iconic landmark the House of the Black Heads, a beautifully restored merchant building, originally built in the 14th century. Latvia has a strong folk culture that remains important today. One major celebration is Jaani, the Midsummer Festival. People stay up all night singing, dancing, lighting bonfires, and wearing flower crowns to celebrate the summer solstice. It's one of the oldest traditions in the Baltics and has roots that go back to pre-Christian pagan beliefs. Latvia is also known for its peaceful countryside, dense forests, and long sandy beaches along the Baltic Sea. Many Latvians have a deep respect for folklore, nature spirits, and traditional songs called dainas, passed down for generations. Finally, we arrive in Lithuania, the southernmost and largest Baltic country. Its capital, Vilnius, is famous for its Baroque architecture and beautiful old streets. Vilnius has one of the largest surviving medieval old towns in Europe. One major symbol of Lithuania is Gediminas Tower, the remains of a medieval castle overlooking the city. Lithuania once had a massive empire known as the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. During the 14th century, it stretched across huge parts of Eastern Europe and was one of the largest countries in Europe at the time. One of Lithuania's most powerful landmarks is Hill of Crosses. Thousands upon thousands of crosses cover this hill, symbolizing faith, resistance, and national identity. Even during Soviet occupation, when religious symbols were destroyed repeatedly, Lithuanians kept returning to place new crosses there. Today, it stands as one of the country's most emotional and meaningful sites. Lithuanians are also enthusiastic about basketball. It's practically a national religion. Traditional music, dance festivals, and handcrafted art also remain central parts of Lithuanian culture. Although each Baltic country has its own language and traditions, they share a common story of survival and independence. In 1989, around 2 million people joined hands across Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania in a peaceful protest called the Baltic Way. The human chain stretched over 600 kilometers across all three countries. It became one of the most famous peaceful protests in modern history and helped inspire the movement toward independence from the Soviet Union. A few years later, all three countries regained their freedom. Today, the Baltic countries blend ancient history with modern innovation. You'll find medieval castles beside modern tech hubs, centuries-old traditions alongside vibrant contemporary culture, and some of the most underrated cities in Europe. From Estonia's fairy tale streets to Latvia's festivals to Lithuania's powerful monuments, the Baltics offer a side of Europe many travelers never forget. Which Baltic country would you most want to visit? Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and keep exploring.